Hi, it's Menee. Welcome to my channel and the What Are You Reading series. In the What Are You Reading series, I share books that I've recently read, as well as books that I plan on reading in the near future. And so I won't be the only one sharing books. I ask you to share the books that you are reading with me and anyone who views this video and read the comments. As I mentioned before, I am participating in the 2018 Reading Blackout Challenge, which is reading nothing but books written by Black authors. And I must say that I am truly enjoying the Reading Blackout Challenge journey. I am discovering authors and Black books that I would never have otherwise discovered. So I am enjoying this journey. And today I want to share with you an inspirational fiction, historical fiction, and a motivational book. And I hope these books pique your interest. The inspirational fiction is Redeeming Waters by Vanessa Davis Griggs. Redeeming Waters is an updated version of the biblical story of David and Bathsheba. So if you're familiar with that story, then you have the main storyline to follow, but remember, it's an updated version. One of the characters, her middle name is actually Bathsheba, and another character's name is King David, but it's spelled David, but it's funny in the book. But so you have Bathsheba and David. The story is well written and told like the characters are everyday people. The book deals with betrayal, infidelity, and promiscuity, but it's written in such a way that it's not drama filled. The characters all have a chance to look at themselves and ask, am I doing what God truly desires of me? The questions of faith and God's sovereignty comes up when tragedy arises for the characters, but in the end, the characters realize that there is nothing too hard for God. Even forgiveness. Even when the hardest thing is forgiving yourself. It's a great story, and it helps you to look at yourself and realize that the enemy doesn't want you to feel forgiven, but when God forgives you, you are forgiven. And remember, there's nothing too hard for God, and that's the basis of this story. The next book is a historical fiction by Bernice L. McFadden, and it is the Book of Harlan. This book is fabuloso to me. I really love the cover because this guy on the cover really looks like someone who could have been in a picture with my dad, you know? It just, and the cover strikes me, so this is nice to me. But the book starts with the birth of Harlan in 1917, and it basically follows the life of Harlan until he's about 55 years old. I really enjoy this book because it shows a different perception of blacks in the early 1900s. I typically read about the red dusty dirt roads, farmhouses and sharecroppers, but the community that Harlan's mother lived in, her character is Emma. They actually grew up in an affluent community with doctors, lawyers, and teachers, and she even played the piano. Harlan discovered his love of music when he found the guitar. So he loved music, and his music took him all the way to Paris with his band. Now, when he got to Paris, that trip didn't end well because he was actually thrown into a concentration camp. Yes, a concentration camp. And I did not know that black people were in Nazi concentration camps. I had to Google it. You know, I had to Google it just to make sure. But it's true. Black people were in the Nazi concentration camps. It's just not written in our history books, which is so very, very sad. Harlan is all man, but he has demons that he's running from. And this book follows his life through its ups and downs. his ups and downs. But eventually, I feel like he was finally able to just stick it to the man. So, I mean, there's some light at the end of the book, but this book left me wanting more. I was craving more. The book is so well written, and it takes you through a time when black people, especially the ones who were living up in the north, were actually coming into their own. They had their own communities. They had their own joints that they, went to, and it's well described. Everything is well described. Bernice L. McFadden does a wonderful job. But I wanted more, and I even found myself making my own scenarios up. And that's okay, because the Harlan is really loosely based off Bernice L. McFadden's grandfather. So it was an actual person. So me coming up with scenarios can actually be okay. I think. But this is a wonderful book, and it is worth the read. Then I listened to a motivational book by Oprah Winfrey, What I Know For Sure. What I Know For Sure by Oprah Winfrey is a book of essays that really work together to try to help you be your best self. The book is arranged in themes like joy, gratitude, resilience. I think there's about 8 of them. And they guide you to help you be your very best self. The book is also narrated by Oprah Winfrey, so it's a really great read if you want to learn a little bit more about Oprah and some things that she's gone through in her life, and the techniques and methods that she has been using to win all of these years. So those are 3 books that I have read recently: an inspirational fiction, a historical fiction, and a motivational book. These are all awesome books, and I think they are so worth the read because you get way more in depth than the small review that I am giving here. They're worth the read. Trust me, you will enjoy them. So what are you going to read next? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I love sharing what I read with you. Seriously, the next book that I will be reading is by Octavia E. Butler, and it is Kindred. And I'll read you a little excerpt from the back. Dana, a modern black woman, is celebrating her 26th birthday with her new husband when she is snatched abruptly from her home in California and transported to the antebellum South. Rufus, the white son of a plantation owner, is drowning, and Dana has been summoned to save him. Dana is drawn back repeatedly through time to the slave quarters, and each time the stay grows longer, more arduous, and more dangerous until it's uncertain whether or not Dana's life will end long before it has a chance to begin. Now that sounds freaky. That sounds almost scary to me. But yeah, so this is our book club read, and we are going to be reading this. I hear it's good, but I'll let you know. The next book is a book that I am reading right after my son read it so that we can discuss it later. And it is by Tomi Adeyemi, and it's Children of Blood and Bone. And I have been hearing a lot about this book. Everybody says it's so good. I'm really not a fantasy book reader, but I'm going to read it so that I can discuss it with my son. He even says, ooh, this book is good. And I have to let you know what I think about this book as well. I also went ahead and pulled Alice Walker, The Temple of My Familiar, off of my bookshelf. I've been intended to read this book like forever, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But this is on my list to read right after Children of Blood and Bone, and I'll have to come back and let you know what I think about this. I like Alice Walker, and I love the way she writes. So now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comment section what books you are reading or what you've recently read that you just want to share, which is so good you want to share it. put it down in the comment section. And if you've read any of the books that I mentioned here, make sure you let me know what you think about them down in the comment section, especially the ones that I am going to read in the future. Let me know if it's good or whatever. So if you like my What Are You Reading series, and make sure you thumbs it up so that I know that you like this series and you are interested in participating in the comment section. You never know who is looking for a good book, and being able to help somebody find a good book is worth your while. So also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. And for those of you who have already subscribed to my channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have an amazing day, and I will talk with you later. Bye bye.